Okay, let's see if that makes me drop frames. Looked at my internet cord after I started streaming, so I'm wondering if that's what did it. Like it didn't properly switch from Wi-Fi to the cord. That's what it looks like happened. So yeah, that okay. I think we're good to go. Coolio. All right. So we're on the last trial, the last case of the second game. I usually refer to it as the Mad on Guard case because I don't know what else to call it. I never remember their titles. But yeah, farewell my turnabout. It's literally the best part of this game. Just waiting to see. Just waiting for All-Star Gamer Gal to show up. She should show up as soon as she realizes the stream's up, but she hasn't responded to my message yet. So. Okay, so is she here yet? Nope. She is texting me. She knows it's up. Let's go. We'll get started. I won't get too far without her. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way! Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. I'm really tired. I've spent a whole bunch of hours outside in the sun, scrubbing and scraping away at a deck. 85 degrees, no cloud cover, direct sun overhead, so I'm like tired. I just took a shower. I'm sorry if that comes through. But, that having been said, let's have some fun. Been dying to do some voice acting here, so. Okay, I'm just gonna go. And I hope she shows up. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. By the way, I changed my mic a bit, so hopefully it sounds a little bit better. Hopefully It's not gonna be like a massive change, but it should be a bit better. Should cut out some background noise. Should pick up my voice a bit better. Alright. Katie, where are you? So, after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it was really her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Edgeworth let us know that for a reason, even though he didn't know he was going to be on this case. Ah, that's right, I get to do Edgeworth instead of Franziska. Thank goodness.
Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls a witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Juan Carita's room.
You didn't miss much because I kind of didn't do very much. Pretty much. We missed a conversation where Phoenix was talking to Matt on guard about how Miss Andrews was the real killer. She was able to do it while he was like asleep, able to plant the bloody button on him and stuff. And then there was a little conversation between Mia and Phoenix where Mia was like, Edgeworth's the one that gave us this information. He's in command of the ship or something like that, so.
What is your occupation?
Holy cow, I don't remember her voice. What the heck? I don't remember her voice like at all. But I've definitely been doing her voice. Sorry. I'm gonna find it because I don't remember this at all. What do you mean? Okay. That's why I don't remember, because I gave her a stupid voice. It doesn't fit her at all.
I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
I see. Now then.
I cannot hit his bass notes today. I don't know why my voice is just like, it won't go that low. Bad voice day.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship to the victim.
I like how she's like, I'm sure you're all wondering, and he's like, no, just tell us. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Karida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
But I didn't kill him.
No one is accusing you of that.
I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Anders.
What? She didn't explain it. What are you talking about?
Very well then, witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place.
Oh yeah, I gotta bring up the guide because this game is so BS. I'm streaming on OBS and this game is so BS. Justice for all. Present the Mega Tomahawk. Let's see. I think we're on 2-2. Adrian Anders. There we go. And I just lost this place right after finding the place. Let's see. Move the chat box over. Talk to Old Bag. How about never talk to Old Bag? Alright, here we go.
It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I was even in the photo. It was kind of weird seeing myself at the crime scene. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice like most people do when they're about to faint.
You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing.
That is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix. She is the one. She is one cool and collected cucumber. She also has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes?
Excuse me? What are you...
Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with the subject, then I'll make one for you.
Oh, okay. I could do a recap real quick. Sorry. Bum bum bum. Sorry for the delay. Okay. So we're trying to say that Miss Andrews did the murder. because she had all the opportunity to do the murder. And that's what we were telling, what's-his-face? Madame Guard at the beginning. Where was I? Right, so we're just cross-examining Miss Andrews now. Trying to point out inconsistencies or whatever. Nothing we haven't really seen before. Nothing, like, too important has happened yet. We haven't gone very far.
And if you can't make a sensible sentence with the subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch.
Okay. Oh, on your laptop now. Cool. You can respond to me really quick. Okay,
Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Onguard's knife from his room?
No.
Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue.
After that, I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that?
As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason?
I beg your pardon, what are you implying?
You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had more of a personal matter to discuss with the victim.
Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time.
I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess.
May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room?
And there was his dead body. I was in shock. You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corita. Mr. Corita.
Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photograph you're referring to, correct?
Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest.
And the guitar case was like this too?
Yes, it was open and empty, of course.
And then, what did you do next, witness?
Felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice, as is customary of people who are about to faint. Still bugs me. Oh, you know, just pour yourself a glass of juice. Derpty-derp. Juice?
Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
But you didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There were no lip marks left on the wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. Is that really a wine glass? I don't know.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of one Karita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind was really a complete blank at the time.
Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake, that one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind, it's no big deal.
What was she starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. Welcome back. Sorry. I was like on a roll or something. I don't know, I'm a little tired, a little dazed, so sorry if I slow to respond or something. What I really want to know is what that mistake was.
Actually, so would I.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, and I accidentally knocked the flower vase over.
Flower vase. Are you talking about the one on the floor in this crime photo?
The lower part of my bass, that raspiness in the lower part of my bass register is completely gone today. I have no idea where it is, but it ain't here.
This mess of glass shards.
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
No, I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, the people would simply assume the vase just a part of the mess.
It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
Yeah, I just can't do the raspy thing that I normally do. I just can't do it. It's just not there. Sorry, Judge, I'm not going to do a very good judge voice today.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else.
I was only to knock the flower vase over where it fell onto the guitar case. Oh, yeah! Because the guitar case was wet, right? Wait! It fell onto the top of the guitar case. But the guitar case was open in the photo, so somebody opened the guitar case after. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct?
Yes.
And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case?
Is there some problem with what I said?
It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that's true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And what is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor.
What's wrong with that?
If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah.
What's your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. Is that all?
No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But the whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found in the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it?
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think that you need to hear more details about the guitar case?
Yeah. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you.
I can't believe I'm doing this either.
Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
The guitar case. Okay. Let's see what she's got to say.
I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, I don't know.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling, but by now that it's almost comforting.
Anyway, I'll just start ahead with the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man.
Hey, Edgeworth, I do that all the time. Stop it. Jerk. Like, anyway. I remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind?
Well, you see...
Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over.
Well, Miss Andrews.
Yes, it was me.
Suppose I must open the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. So, you opened the guitar case then?
Yes, well, maybe.
Why did you open the guitar case?
Huh?
Mr. Karita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think the first thing you do is call for help, not open a guitar case.
As the witnesses said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed.
Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it.
Why would she care about a bright red guitar? Yeah, a criminal running away with a bright red guitar, yeah.
But getting back on topic.
Not a big deal, right? Case is empty after all. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention.
Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body?
Yes, that's probably it.
I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. Can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with, I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. According to the guide,
She supposed to open the guitar case after I knocked the vase over.
and it says present the guitar, but why? Water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Karita's fingerprints, but not hers? So Karita opened it after she knocked the vase over, so he wasn't even dead yet? There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case.
Why would you say that?
It's elementary, my dear, Watson, or whatever. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim.
Ah,
What is it, Miss Andrews?
you shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Then you'd wipe the other fingerprints. I assume what they were trying to say.
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? And also, aren't your fingerprints on the glass? So you put gloves on between the two actions.
It was at the...
Phoenix's voice, whoops. It was at the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
That's strange because... You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange?
Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time?
Da da da, you're da 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 dum. Now you have the proof right here. This wine glass.
The wine glass.
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Ah,
Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
ah!
I like how her glasses shatter and she just puts another pair on. Like, I feel like most characters, when something explodes or shatters or gets torn or whatever, it just stays like that. Or it doesn't stay like that and it just magically is repaired the next time you see him. But she actually, like, puts another pair on.
Order! It's me. Yes, I'm calling again because I still haven't got my food. I agree this is ridiculous. Come on now.
Judge,
No, sorry.
looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really is empty, though. If it really was empty, though. But the guitar. The bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, no, that's not right either.
I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us into his misguided...
No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews has testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in the photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
If you're so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar was not being the only thing. Not being the only thing. You don't just mean to suggest there was a black guitar? Objection! So you intend to push your theory that this case was not empty? Is that it, Mr. Wright?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. I haven't proven anything yet.
You haven't proven anything yet.
Now then, let's have it. What was inside that case at the time of the murder?
I don't even understand Oh. It says I need to present this. How on God's green, luscious, flat earth would I know to present this?
This is a photograph.
Yes, but what's important is what's in the picture, Your Honor.
It is in this picture.
It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that?
And that insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. And Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone else see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get the shot, correct?
You mean this photo? Order! I can't believe I have to call again. Where is your delivery driver? I cannot believe that he cannot find the courtroom. It's right in the middle of the city. Come on now. Sorry, it looks like we've wandered into yet another mess, haven't we?
Quite another mess. Good job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer is hiding inside a costume.
Phoenix.
No, wait a second. Your Honor, the Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on Guard's. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
It was stolen from Mungard so that he could go and do some stuff. Actually, seems pretty unlikely because the guide says not to choose that. Mr. Engard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one.
What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And how do you explain the costume was inside the guitar case? That would mean that the victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had a Nickel Samurai spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. So there was a hobo, and he was outside the hotel, and he was selling spare Nickel Samurai costumes. So they decided to buy one from him and take pity on the poor hobo. And then...
Mr. Wright, please, some evidence.
Sorry. This is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... Was he gonna pretend to be the Nickel Samurai and say something bad? And how the heck would I know to present this?
What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, The Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Oh, that's right. Remember, he was like, Matt on guard was like, what press conference are you talking about? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So this press conference had nothing to do with him. This is like some fake press conference. Ooh.
A press conference.
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right?
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was a setup by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carita himself.
The victim?
Yes. The Spear Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Carita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at the conference.
The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself.
Which means that Juan Carita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on Guard.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case, that is not a confession, that's public disclosure.
What? Who cares, Edgeworth? What?
Huh. Miss Andrews.
I can see why you are pros at what you do.
Pardon me.
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was a setup by Juan.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Wanted to bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway, and then they'd have to go on to the Grand Prix after that, but the Prix was the first one.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
It looks like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What?
And do you know what this secret of Mr. On Guard is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
Ah, I see.
I probably been coming off as quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. And I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
But protect Matt on Guard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Typically, we like it when you tell the truth the first time. If you could, it would please the court. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
I love how he basically said what I said, only he reworded it to be a little better. I'm gonna get some water. Be right back. Ooh, nice and not cold for the summer weather. But it's more about making my throat moist. And less about it being refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, here we go.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Moist. Shudders. It's not the best word that ever existed, but it does the job. Alright. Protecting Matt.
From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. I don't make mistakes, and you certainly won't find me out during this courtroom
drama.
We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with the testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything is swung in the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Whee! Did she do it? I love how it's like... I still love how you say that to everybody. The judge did it, didn't he? You will find out very soon. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Would you say that that's your intuition speaking to you? 'Twas Phoenix.
Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove someone did something, you need 3 things.
3 things?
A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear.
You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach us that in school, at least not from what I can remember. What, Phoenix? What are you talking about?
May I continue now?
I had to kill Juan, no matter what. So would you say that this need came from a press conference?
Yes, did you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for that conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Madame Guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume.
But I'm sure Mr. Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference.
Oh, really? Can you show me a proof that he didn't know something?
How can I prove that someone didn't know something? Anyway, the important thing here is that the information is not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, aren't we, Mr. Wright?
I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove that I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt you or betray you personally?
Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Carrito at this press conference, and that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out.
The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, none of this is our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? I didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. But you didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard?
I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether or not he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews said. I can't say the same for some people in this room. However,
The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. My thoughts are confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? Clear from the crime scene. Wow, I'm doing the wrong voice.
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought.
I don't know why switching to her voice is tough for me. Order, stop glaring at my puppy.
And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamba Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that it makes very decisive evidence.
Eric.
Looks like you're outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
The button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. Strangled with scarf, stabbed with a knife. It says to present this. So let's do it. Sick of talking to this lady. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by scarf. Strangulation by scarf? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Well, let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. I don't know. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. I love this song.
Order, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this, right? I like how he cuts the judge off. So what if the button was torn off of the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve?
What purpose?
We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean that you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it?
Pin it on guard, you dumb. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It's to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is Mr. On Guard. He framed himself. It was Celeste Impacts, back from the dead, trying to blame somebody. I don't know. It's Adrian Andrews. It's Adrian Andrews. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! Go! Adrian Andrews, use Screech! You are Mr. Corita's killer! What?
Order! Mr. Wright, my food is finally here. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All the evidence points to Miss Andrews.
How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I? Would you care to test me?
Then, what about this knife?
The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered with the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you!
Nah. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama?
This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done that was the person who found the body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, There's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama.
Good thing I have so many pairs of glasses.
The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Engarde's Hakama, the person who went to wake him from his nap, which was yet again you, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrienne Andrews!
No, I...
But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found in the guitar case. And then it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story, and Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on earth would believe that this is the that this Nichols samurai is Mr. Engarde. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how the tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
Please stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time.
Miss Andrews. I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. We're apparently in the U.S. now, even though this is clearly Japan, but Japan apparently has it too. I don't know.
Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing the witness not to testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? I didn't know I was in the U.S. Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Especially since, pleading the fifth is, you have to think about what they're not saying when they plead the fifth. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Engarde's room... Adrienne Andrews!
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
Alright.
San Francisco. Yep. That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done?
You haven't proven a motive, right? What's wrong, right? Now you've finished already. We're out of evidence.
What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial? Okay. I thought he was gonna go with, you have no motive, but I think they kind of already talked about that.
Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Carita,
Which is motive. Right? Motive?
Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Carita? You can say yes if you'd like. And they believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence.
No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. People can apparently just stop talking, Phoenix. What is this world? It's a visual novel. You're reading it, and yet the words can just stop. I don't know what to... Okay.
I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time.
Phoenix, it's like people are saving and turning the game off. And then the game doesn't continue, Phoenix. It's like our lives are on pause. It's like Undertale or something.
Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof.
But that's not true.
In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial.
Tomorrow? If we don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial.
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... Oh, you're back. Oh, sorry.
But it is impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to what she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Was that grape juice, grapefruit juice, or tomato juice? I know the answer, I'm just quizzing you.
Yes, and
I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring.
Oh, shaken up, not stirred. That's a James Bond reference. Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want you to state that you have reasons. I want to state that if you have reasons behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect.
Testify?
Your Honor, I would like to request that this witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness.
I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he a friend or foe? I just don't know.
The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please.
More talking to Miss Andrews. Just what I wanted when I found the body.
In that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw that in a messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over, tired looking in the corner, like he had been strangled or something. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought it didn't cross my mind that he was dead. So, to be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. I went to pour him some juice. Then I realized that he was dead. That's when I knocked the flower vase over.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I feel like this section talking to Miss Andrews is going... It's just a little on the long side. Hey, I'm gonna just shorten it a little bit.
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial.
Thanks. Please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. Like, halfway through it was like getting to a good point. We're about to get her. And then it feels like we've just kind of regressed back, and now we're kind of just talking and talking. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I feel like I've been getting my judge's voice back slowly more and more. I might just fire on through this. Because there's actually not much left, but we can sit there and press and press and press. You can get more pointless dialogue, but I'm kind of want to be done with her, so 2, 3, 4. So I'm sitting like that, the thought he was dead didn't cross my mind. But he had a knife sticking out of him. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him?
No, not at all.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body.
Figured it was a prop sticking out of his chest. Nah!
What is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Creda's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that he was the dead man.
That's well, you see.
I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who's fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink.
Your point is?
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer.
Sorry. Oh. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. Miss Andrews, the defense holds that you are ugly. The defendant, Mr. Mattangard, is not guilty after all.
That's impossible, you're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. We're just going to sentence you to death.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify.
Did they imply that in the game? No, I added that.
Then there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mattangard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? It's wrong, Phoenix. Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. In the series. I mean, in real life they don't, but in this series they do.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard.
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak the absolute, real truth.
So as long as the witness keeps on lying, the trial keeps on going.
The absolute real truth. What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet?
Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Mattengard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it?
And I can't speak about it. I'm too scared.
It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Did you remember Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Mattengard will be acquitted. Or something like that, Phoenix. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority.
It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. Then think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right?
Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Request a not guilty verdict, I guess. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win by a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court passes a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible.
I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned this past year?
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it is clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong.
What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However...
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court.
Stop. Mr. Edgeworth.
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
I kind of wonder what face I made.
Stop, please stop.
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? And I will reveal to the court the true nature of this pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please stop it, I beg you. If people find out, I know, I'll just talk over you. Someday they'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. If people find out, I'll...
And if you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
Rainbow Connection song? Kermit the Frog sings it. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold?
However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me.
I'll talk, but please, help me. Someday they'll find it. Nothing matters anymore. Not even the rainbow connection.
My crime.
When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a mad dash for Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife just to be sure, and yes, he was really dead, and ripped off the button. Just when I finished, and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Stab the body with the knife, but why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man, and also to check if he was dead. I always wanted to stab somebody. What do you mean by all of this?
It might take the court a little while to understand, but this is the truth.
The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with a murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime.
What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence your cross-examination.
Yes, this is still going on. My crime. But this is seriously, this is the last part of this. For realsies. But anyway, she's trying to frame Matt on guard. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. But you could tell from the state that the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? Wow, reading that was hard for some reason.
He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf was part of the Jamba Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up. I went to pour the juice.
When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. What is this plan you had?
I knew right away that the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought, I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. Seems like a reasonable thing for a person to do.
And so the forged pieces of evidence with a knife and this button.
The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure that there was no one in the hallway, I made a mad dash back to Matt's room.
That was so you could get the knife, correct?
The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time, and I slipped in and took the knife and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Oh, sorry. Then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button.
So you were the one to stab the victim with a knife.
Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But he was dead. I made sure of that. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Sounds like something an anime person would say. Anyway. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect.
And so you thought to rip one of the buttons off and plant it in Mr. Engarde's Hakama.
Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go to that smoothly, do they?
So when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. An inconvenience?
There was a woman with a camera at the ready loitering in the hallway. She was a terrible person and nobody wanted her there.
I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta.
There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready pacing back and forth like a psychopath. Nobody wanted her there either, I'm sure.
That's Miss Old Bag for you.
And they had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume.
You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you?
Yes, I took it from the Global Studios. I also put it in Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony.
You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct?
Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is this secret?
That I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai's costume, the people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Engarde's room and planted the button.
Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. Why didn't I just start with this? I don't know. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Not an old bag, mind you. And then I snuck out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word. What does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it?
Now do you not know my name?
The real criminal is Matt Engarde. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk.
Franziska, huh?
She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. And then if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still...
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Just a dead body stabber and a framer. A dirty, dirty framer. The cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But...
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
Dang, did you hear that gavel?
I'm going to go eat my food.
Today's trial. It's over.
It was like, boom, 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 boom.
And I didn't win an acquittal. That means Maya's dead.
Witness, would you mind if I ask you something?
Edgeworth?
What is it?
Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. That card in your hand. It has had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it?
No, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although, I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found it in the room on that day.
The room?
That day?
Yes. And they found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him.
You found that card next to the victim's body?
I suppose it must have unconsciously slipped into my pocket, as people do when they pour themselves a glass of juice. They open guitar cases, they randomly steal stuff from the crime scenes, But anyway, it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right?
Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why...
Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry!
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you've stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you'd hide this from me all this. You hid this from me all this time.
I didn't mean to.
What is all this about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card! What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Next time on Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Next week we'll pick up where we left off and find out what this card really means. Anyway, back to the office now.
Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya.
There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, wow.
Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. Ungard hasn't been given the guilty sentence yet. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going.
You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am.
Yes, that's right. So... Hey guys, glad I caught you, pal.
Mr. Scruffy Detective.
Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe. By the way, Pearls calls him Mr. Scruffy Detective for like ever, because Francisca called him that one time and when Pearl was around. And she like thinks that's his name or something. Has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. I like how it just said that right after okay, anyway. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe and I came to talk to you, pal. But we're kind of busy right now. So what are you gonna do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that. What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? You'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. Wongard's innocent all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching other people's places. And I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all.
Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things.
I love Gumshoe and Pearl. Okay, by the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods?
That was the first time I ever seen Mr. Wedgeworth act like that. I never thought he'd say something like that. Say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that. That's horrible.
I like Gumshoe and Pearl too, because eating healthy is expensive. Yep, it is. But because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. The truth? Miss Andrews' last testimony, I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself, but I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with this whole thing. You mean about that thing, pal? But why would she want to... No, I mean, almost need to frame Mr. On Guard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then, you're saying that the testimony was a lie? Not a lie per se, it just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe.
That's such a dirty trick. Even that woman prosecutor was better than that.
Is the kidnapper blackmailing Miss Andrews too? I actually just don't remember. Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? You might be right about that. Or not necessarily that she's being blackmailed, but remember she just like listens to things people say or whatever, so she might just be like, I gotta do what this guy told me on this radio thing or whatever. Something, I don't remember exactly. Wasn't she shot this morning? Oh yeah, Franziska got shot. Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by Pistol Pal. Probably deserved it, but still, it's a little extreme. But she's gonna be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and just hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out by now, so she's probably resting in the hospital. Which one? What? Are you gonna visit her, pal? That's weird, she's awful. No, well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you actually got a heart, don't you, pal? She looked like she was being tortured to death not being able to go to the trial today. So maybe it'd be good for her if you went there and let her whip you for a bit, pal.
Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick.
No, I'm definitely not going. Let's see, the name of the hospital. Oh yeah, the Hody Clinic. That name sends chills down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Not Dr. Hody. March 22nd, Hody Clinic, reception. Never thought I'd come back to this place. No! No. Oh boy, I think he was just kind of kind of voice or whatever. Yes, I'm here for a visit a patient, huh? Hi, wait a second, you're... yes, I'm Director Hody. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me, yes. Director Hody. I don't know who's saying that. Director Hody? Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Hody. Oh, yes, you're the man from this morning. Yeah, so what is it? Director, Franziska. No, it's Franziska von Karma. You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Hands. Because you see, I'm the one personally taking care of her, yes? Yes, and that thing, that surgery, it went well.
You have my gratitude.
It looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret. She looks so pitiful, absolutely terrified. But I understand. Yes, her opponent was a gun after all. I guess a gun beats a whip, doesn't it? And after I snuck up on her real secret like, she would scream really loud. Yes.
I see.
No, but she's really cute too. When I do that, she'd whip me with her whip. Boy, did I cry like a baby, yes, but I think I could get used to it.
Go back to your room.
Yes, I mean, my frisky Friska. That's good too. Okay. Yes, that's time for my IV drops. Yes.
That was the worst thing I've ever had to have witnessed. Anyway, what are those tulips doing in your hand? Mr. Phoenix, right? Oh, he brought flowers. Oh, Feeny. What a good boy. Even though she's a terrible person, but what a good boy.
Arg, I knew I shouldn't have come here.
I was shot in front of the courthouse, right in my shoulder, and I was like, ow, whoa. As you might imagine. I took off on one of my one-ups, but I'm okay. I always bounce back. But it's a no big deal. This thing happens to me all the time. Anytime it happens, it goes kind of like do or something like that. But anyway, I'm good. I even had the full intentions of running the trial this morning.
But that would have been too much for you.
There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding. One has to wonder if he simply was interested in stealing my case.
It was only logical, the only logical course of action, given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made.
I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Anders yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. On Guard, you told Miss Anders to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal? You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I had been there in court today, this trial would already be over. All while hiding Miss Anders' own crime? It isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I have only one objective, to find On Guard guilty of murder. So other criminals can go free, but I don't really care about that. The ends justify the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The ends justify the means. Miss Von Karma. Adrian Anders believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened... Oh, sorry, let me try this again. If you don't believe the truth of what really happened, then On Guard will be found guilty. And what does it have to do with me? Because of that, she is now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. But you had to know she was... Ow! I think a visiting hours here are about over. What a terrible scumbag. You should burn those tulips. And then throw them at her while they're on fire, Phoenix. So if you'd excuse me.
What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off?
Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument, and I was shaming her. Deservedly so. Edgeworth. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Anders' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far...
Nah, but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright. The courtroom is a garden of judgment. I'm putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural.
By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you.
Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Do you have any idea what you stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time!
That card? What in the world is it?
You mean this? Listen, right. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. The Special Investigations Team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it.
I understand.
Their task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelley the Killer. And then just as his name states, he is a killer, an assassin. At best, the best at that.
An assassin? An assassin put his calling card on the table after he killed that guy. An assassin took out Juan Carita. So who is this Shelley the Killer?
The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins.
Long-standing. Like they haven't sat down for a long, long time.
No, Pearls.
The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelley is the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name.
So because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves cards with a shell on them?
He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims.
Why would he do something like that?
We think it's a part of his duty to his clients.
His duty?
If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured that it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients.
I see.
The Killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience.
I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case?
It would appear that way. The discovery of this card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree?
Shelley the Killer, huh?
I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter?
I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped.
Kidnapped? What does this kidnapper want?
An acquittal.
I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow.
Really? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to.
Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity.
Mr. Nick?
There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Get back, I'm going for some food. Try for some food? I might go get some water, which won't take me long. I might get a bigger cup though. Yeah, I'll go get a cup. Maya. Chia. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My gosh. Yeah, so just do a little. Just do a little break. Just a little break. Circle of life. All right. BRB.
That on the phone with. Oh boy. I'll be right back. Probably like 10 minutes. I have to go do something. I have to go work on the deck.
Okie dokie. I am back. Let me know when you're here, and then we'll keep going. Oh, you're back. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Nice, I leveled up from Colt's Shrine. Oh, and I have messages and stuff from you. Oh, a bunch of gifts. Holy cow. I'll probably look at this off stream. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can keep it down, though.
Right? Listen, you need to know something. Juan Carrito was killed by Shelley the Killer. And the client who ordered the job is Matt on Guard, your own client.
Please stop! I can't listen to you. I can't believe that.
I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you'll need this.
What is it?
The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only. We are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley the Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter.
Thanks, Edgeworth.
In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again, and if anything should happen, if you'll excuse me.
Mr. Nick, do you think Mr. On Guard hired an assassin?
No way! I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock.
Yeah, I guess not.
Maya. Please, all I ask is you make it home safe and sound. Date, time, location, dun dun dun. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. Even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time for me to go look around. Why did I turn into Francisca? What is this place?
I've got a feeling I'm not in a hotel anymore. Those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them to cease and maybe get out of here. Locked, of course. And it doesn't look like I can use the card trick to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier and maybe I'd be able to crawl through here. It's so dark in here I can barely see, but these kind of feel like videotapes, all of them. So what kind of room is this? That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear. Oh, how cute! But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. Oh, hey, it's a computer! I never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch is on this. Drat, there goes my plan to use it to somehow get out of here. What is this? An antenna, I guess? And with this, a VCR? This really is the 90s!
I can't do her voice today, so I'm doing my best.
There are sure a lot of electronic gadgets here. But what is an antenna doing here? Wow, I've never seen a TV this big before. Now where is the power button? Pooey, it's busted. I would so die happy, a samurai fan, if I ever got to see Nickel Samurai on a TV like this. I can't believe I just made a joke about dying, all things considered. There's a framed picture sitting on the coffee table. If I look at the court record which I have access to, it looks like Celeste Impact. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." I bet this could be a clue.
Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. It seems that your Mr. Right is truly concerned about you.
He is?
For now, I would like to suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you.
Ways? You mean?
Dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct?
Dead?
I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting, I am an assassin.
No way, you're lying. I mean, an assassin?
People are not always who they appear to be.
Mr. Nick. Oh yes, Pearls? Got caught up in my thoughts about Maya's situation.
Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know.
I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too.
Okay.
Let's go talk to Matt on Guard. Wait, where's the song?
I don't know, Mr. Nick, and it's scary. Where's the song? There it is, Mr. Nick.
Well, thank goodness. March 22nd Detention Center, Visitors Room.
I'm sorry, but the visiting hours are over for today. Whoa!
I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the...
You're Mr. Wright, you say? Oh yeah, there's a message here for you.
A message?
It's from Matt on guard. Ah, here you are. Whoa! What did he write? Is it something really important?
I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude. Oh, sorry, let me try this again. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy? Oh, why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I had this cat named Shu. I didn't put a lot of food out when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house to feed Shu for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? Not sure why I'm staying at the hotel when my house is right there. Let's just ignore this plot hole.
This is terrible. Let's hurry. We have to feed his cat. I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now.
Yeah, I guess. Matt's note jammed into a pocket. Alright, a client's request is a request. Guess I should go check up on his cat. There's gonna be a cat. There's gonna be a cat. No! I was trying to go to his thing, and now I have to talk to the thing.
Alright now, Mr. Nick. Let's go look for clues. We have to, for Mystic Maya's sake. You shall not pass!
Miss Oldbag! Don't devalue my name and turn it into a gaspy, spiky-headed pettifogger. Because of you, I've been made to look like a bad guy again, although I did get a piece of gum from old Edgy Boy, just as promised. But what is really more valuable? Edgy Boo's heart, I really doesn't want it all for me. It's all your fault. You wicked wild beast inside this old bag.
Miss Oldbag.
Keep your hands off me. This helmet's airtight. No air gets in or out. Then why do you keep putting it on? Don't think you can get me to move with silly questions. You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by.
Yeah, sure, we can watch stuff.
I'm not hearing this. I wanted to go talk to the dog. Rat-a-tat-tat. Ha! You're a million light years too early to be asking me questions, whippersnapper. Alright, looks like the only way I'm going to get any investigating done is to first do something about this kooky alien. Oh yeah, she just keeps repeating that. So you can't ask her anything. Then you have to show her that you have a thing saying that you can go in. You mean cat? What? What did I say? Maybe if I show her this letter I got from Edgeworth. Miss Oldbag, if you'd look at... What? What? You want me to look at this worthless piece of... Edgy poo! Is that her perfume? Pheromone d'amour I smell? Let's see here. Would you please allow this unsophisticated young person to conduct his investigation? Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth. You said you want to see the dog. Oh, I did? Yours truly? That means... that man's good at flattery. Fine, but only because Edgy Poo said so, you understand? I just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. You do anything bad and I won't let you off the hook.
It looks like she has a strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth.
That may be, but you know, nothing's gonna come of it.
That's so mean, Mr. Nick. Feelings aren't meant to be told and shared.
Ow! Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. So anyway, let's continue our investigation.
Okay.
Yeah! What now? One little thing before I forget. You can't go on guard's room today.
Why?
The police's main investigation is going to be in there all day, you hear? I wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer. So don't go in there. Set one foot in there and you'll face the wrath of old Wendy. Wendy Oldbag. See? Nah. Okay, anyway, I wanted to see the guy. March 22nd, on guard mansion, living room. Yeah. Sure is dark. Guess I'll go turn on a light. Wow. So, this is what a star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich.
Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's find Shoo, the kitty cat. Shoo.
So I guess this is Shoo.
Ah, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shoo.
Tee. The cat seems to like pearls.
Pardon me. May I help you with something, mister?
Oh, we're lawyers, actually. I'm Mr. On Guard's lawyer.
Masters. Then you must be Mr. Right.
Yes?
It's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I am the family butler, John Doe.
Nice to meet you. Kitty. How about this suspicious looking door with the cat thing over here?
There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick.
I bet it's for Mr. On Guard's cat to use.
Oh, you mean Shoo?
The door, it's locked tight. Well, I guess that's to keep nosy people like me from entering it.
Ah, there are masks here.
Yeah, that one in the middle is a steel samurai. The ones next to it are the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. They fought many battles against the backdrop of Neo-Old Tokyo.
Wow, you really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry that I know more about that show than a kid. There's another door over there.
You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick.
Yes, Pearls. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. By the way, have you figured it out yet?
A giant bicycle is flying through the air.
That bicycle, Pearls, is one where you don't have to pedal, and it moves on its own.
Really? Wow.
Sorry to disappoint you, it can't fly. Have you figured out the case?
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, there's a giant cooking hearth there. Here.
It's actually a fireplace.
How are they different, Mr. Nick?
You know, I've never actually seen a hearth before, come to think of it.
You should come and visit Fay Manor then. I'll show you one when you do. Mr. Nick.
Well, I'm sure Maya's at the house. I mean, that door, it's a pretty similar to a door we literally just saw when we were Maya. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. In any case, I don't really belong here, do I? What is it with me and feeling inferior today? That's random. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. On Guard, right?
Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder.
And, anything else?
No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs.
How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you been served at this residence? How long have you served at this residence? Not been served, lol.
Well, sir, I would have to say maybe about 1 year.
And, anything else?
No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs.
You know, I would have thought Mr. On Guard was the kind to have a maid over a butler. That's a very cute cat you've got there.
It's my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies Shoo.
And is there anything else?
No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat.
What? Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Matt's note crumpled into a ball and thrown away. Alex Shu also.
Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now.
Oh, we should probably get going ourselves.
Ah, so young and yet already so accomplished, a master of law.
But there's a lot to be proud of in being a butler, in charge of the house and all.
Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Mel. I go to the hallway. Oh, I have to go to the law room and then I can go to the hallway? Definitely right that the butler did it, that's for sure. Looks like we're the only ones here.
And yet, the hotel seems busy somehow.
Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer. I hope this isn't Lotta. Lotta should not be allowed in here. Please be Gumshoe if anybody. Hey, old city boy! Lotta, you're still here. Reckon, of course. An investigative photographer eats her stars on her ability to snap up a scoop, yeah. And this hotel just got that there or a mystery. You know, it's like something always about to happen.
But do you have a camera?
Rick given. The photographer's gotta have a camera out of an ear like corn to be a real pro, you know? What? Photographer's gotta have cameras out of the ear. Oh, cameras out of the ear. Like corn to be a real pro, you know? Still doesn't really make sense, but I misread it. So I'm hanging around here. Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, do you have mine, you bread thief? Why can't you drop that thief thing already? Why don't you go suck an egg? This camera is mine, and I'm gonna be an investigator photographer better than you. Screw you, Lotta. March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel, Corita Hotel Room.
Oonga, oonga, ooga, ooga chaka.
I can't stop this feeling, or however it goes, I don't remember.
Mr. Nick.
What's that otherworldly ghastly moaning?
Ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. I hate evil ghosts. Why?
I don't think it's a ghost, maybe it's a demon! It basically was! Excuse me, who are you calling a demon, brat? Zoinks! It's the alien! Who are you calling an alien? I know what you're talking about. Oh, it's just you, Miss Oldbag. What are you doing here? What's wrong with the youngins today? I came down here to pay my respects to poor old Juan, and you guys are disturbing me. Please talk to me about the night of the murder just one more time. I talked about it plenty at the trial. I was fooled, tricked, deceived by that fraud of a photographer and her note. She was loitering around here with that imbecilic look on her face.
With that imbecilic look on her face. Okay, got it.
Now hold on a second there, you little pipsqueak. If you're gonna take notes, at least make me sound better than that.
Oh, alright.
Now I've seen everything.
But you know, I was working that night too, doing my job, minding my own business, not being a horrible character. So it's like I had time to waste. So not like I had time to waste standing around here the whole night.
I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about Mr. Kurita.
He was the most popular star, you know, especially where it counts, in my book.
But I heard that he was lagging behind in the polls against Mr. On Guard.
Well, that's just a recent thing, bad luck and all that, you know. But he was going to become an even bigger star than he used to be. Look, just look at this mountain of presents. It's a show of the mountain of feelings all his fans had for him.
Also, and I don't remember what this means or why it's there, but that room that Maya was in with the little bear, pretty much connected to this room, but I don't know how or why yet. I don't remember. Yeah, the mountain is pretty big and certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Mr. Nick. Actually, I think I do remember it now that I think about it a little bit. What is it, Pearls?
The presents, they're all bears, right?
She's got a point. There isn't a single thing here that isn't a bear. All of Mr. Kurita's presents from his fans seem to be bears.
Oh, it's because you can't think about Juan without thinking about bears.
Bears? Why bears? Is it time for a game of disappearing bears, Mr. Nick?
I'm not up to date with this newfangled internet culture, Pearls. You're gonna have to spell it out for me.
You don't know. When my dear Juan was training, he fought bare-handed with a bear, like Takamura in that one Hajime no Ippo. He refused to give in and let the bear win, but after the fight, they became friends.
Wow, what a heartwarming story.
They didn't become friends in Hajime no Ippo, though.
I know, I've read it and seen the anime.
Look, it's just like those young people's dramas. I can see the two tuckered out.
What? It's just like in those young people's dramas, I can see those two tuckered out.
Down by a river going, "Cat, you sure can fight. You too, bub, you too."
Did all that really happen?
It's in his biography, bub.
What a little crock!
So ever since then, fans have been giving him bears as presents.
Yeah, nice, bears. I'm Uncle Bear, I'm here to say it's barely 8 o'clock. Also, please don't use me as a murder weapon, a la the Thinker. Thank you. What is that infernal racket?
It's one of the presents going off. Sounds like it's already 8 p.m., way past your bedtime.
Ugh, that startled me. I thought I was going to die for a second.
8 p.m.? That's the time when the award ceremony ended that night, remember?
Time sure flies when you're having fun. Hard to believe it's been 2 days since the ceremony. The transceiver! Hello, hello?
This is not a phone.
Maya! How's Maya? You haven't heard her, have you?
It seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney.
So why does your voice sound like the butler? But anyway...
I have heard the news, so it would seem my present did you no good.
No, Mystic Maya, Mystic Maya.
One more day, please. All I ask for is one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time, please.
I suppose if I must. I need that acquittal more than anything else, after all.
Please, please let Maya say something. I want to hear she's all right.
All right. Then, a little...
What's at the static all of a sudden? Hello? Hello?
It seems bad. Connect.
Damn it, did the transceiver just suddenly break?
Excuse me,
What happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden it became nothing but static.
Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya.
Why'd the transceiver suddenly break like that? I should probably have an electronics expert look at it. The sooner the better.
Mystic Maya. Ah.
Hey, y'all want to talk to a lot of heart? Okay, bye. Okay. Uncle offices. Hey, welcome back, pal. I thought I'd make you a little something for dinner. That's nice, thanks. A witch man's luxurious full-course meal. Out of a can, that is. I'm sorry you went through all the trouble to cook, but I don't have time to eat. Oops, looks like you don't have a can opener, pal. You gotta be kidding. And here I thought he had already whipped something up. Oh, I know, there's one way I know how to be helpful. Pulls out a gun, shoots the can open. Ask me about anything you want, pal. Go ahead. Well, since he's here and offering, I wonder what I should try asking him about. Remember when he was like, hey, Paul, check out this sweet gun. And they're like, Gumshoe, stop it. The transceiver.
Oh, Mr. Nick, you should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing.
By the freaking way, you're supposed to present that to Gumshoe. Since when is he an electronics expert? Why would... you have to do it to go on with the game. I don't know. This game does that a lot. Anyway. Oh yeah, your B key.
You should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing.
What thing? Oh yeah, this thing just up and broke all of a sudden. It broke, pal. When I was talking to the kidnapper, it just suddenly broke into static. Look, it sounded like this. I don't hear any static, pal. Huh?
Maybe it fixed itself.
That's strange. I'm sure it was making a loud static noise. Maybe what? Maybe it was electromagnetic interference, pal. Electromagnetic interference? I remember. So what's this electromagnetic interference? It's something that happens when a radio wave gets mixed up with another signal, pal. Oh, when you put it that way.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Like, for example, when a cell phone goes off next to a computer screen, the stuff on the screen gets kind of fuzzy and starts acting funny, right? Yeah, back in the olden days, but wow, does that line not hold up these days. Back when they had CRT TVs, yeah, that could happen.
A computer. It's like when you use the dryer. Oh, sorry.
It's like when you use the dryer next to the TV and the screen starts looking weird.
Oh, yes, the TV does do that. Oh, yes, so that's what you're talking about.
She seems amazingly happy at being able to understand this. So the room you were in when interference to the transceiver happened, there's gotta be something in there that's sending out a very strong radio waves, pal. Something like a listening device or something. Ah! Hey, speaking of that, where were you when this happened?
We were in Mr. Kurita's room, the scene of the murder.
What? That's it! I'm gonna sneak into the precinct and get a bug sweeper. I'll meet you at the crime scene window, right, pal? Oh, wait, Gumshoe. Oh, yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah!
We should get going too, Mr. Nick.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, I'll water it.
It's okay, I already did that.
The watering can. Where are you, Mr. Watering Can?
Pearls gets too wound up if she's not doing something to distract herself. I hope Charlie can withstand Typhoon Pearls. Hey, you're finally here, pal. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Do you have the, bug sweeper?
Well, you see, I got busted trying to sneak in, pal. Then suddenly I'm staring at the precinct doors. From the outside, I mean. So yeah, I couldn't get one of those police bug sweepers. What do you mean you couldn't get one? We need that item. Hey, calm down, pal. Didn't say I didn't get one, just not the police's.
Wow, so this is a bug sweeper.
It looks a little broken. Hey, this was made when I was in elementary school, pal. Oh? By who? Me, of course. Seeing this so brings back memories. Apparently, Gumshoe is making bug sweepers in elementary school. Because he's now an electronics expert. All of a sudden, I don't know. Hey, don't look down on it, pal. Sure, it looks a little beat up. But I put my heart and soul into building this puppy here.
Your heart and soul?
No, look, trust me, pal. It'll do the job, but you can't set the sensitivity. It's gonna beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic waves.
But isn't it better that way?
Well, anyway, since I bought it all this way, might as well give it a whirl, right, pal? I'm getting that sinking feeling again. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this, baby. There's a whistling device or some other bug hidden in this room, pal.
So we're going to find it, right?
Right, now first let's turn the bug sweeper on. Next, move the sweeper around the room to get a real thorough looky see, pal. The sweeper will let you know how strong of a signal it's picking up, so keep an eye on it, okay? Once you find something that's giving off a lot of radio waves, press the A button to lock onto it. There's a lot of things here that are going to give off radio waves, so let's take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Alright, I'm going to go stand outside and keep an eye out. Give me a yell if you find a bug, got it, pal? Lamp? Check. Listening device? Nope.
There are a lot of lamps in this room, aren't there, Mr. Nick?
Yeah.
And they're all on. You shouldn't do that, Mr. Nick. Don't you know that that's wasteful?
Yeah, I'll be more conscious from now on, sorry.
Geez, Mr. Nick.
I don't really think the listening device is in the TV of all places.
Looks like the TV was left on, and it's showing an old samurai movie.
Because, oh, did you miss the story about the bear thing? Yeah, this channel plays all sorts of international movies as well as the domestic ones. Old Bag was like, one time Juan fought a bear and then they became friends. So all of his fans send him bears or whatever.
You know, every time I watch one of these old movies, I always think, wow, these Japanese stars are really good at English.
Yeah. When I grow up, I want to study Japanese. But Pearl, we are in Japan, kind of. I should probably keep my mouth shut here and not destroy her dream.
What a lovely bear. Brag! Wah, Mr. Nick.
This must be one of those fancy bear-shaped toy robots.
Is it a robot? It's a real robot?
Yeah, clearly we're in Japan. Duh. It's a freaking robot bear in the same room. Yeah, it's a real one.
Mr. Nick.
Yes?
How many horsepowers is it? How many horsies?
Horsies? Well, look, it's a bear, so, Well, the phone is the most common place for listening device, I'd say. How does Pearl not know she's Japanese? Because in this game you're in, like, California or something. some place that the Japanese people were like, that's a United States place. Let's make it be there or whatever when they translated it. Well, I guess the Japanese people didn't translate it. Ben Judd did, but the voice of Phoenix Wright, he was the like lead translator guy who got this game worked on. But anyway, yeah, they were like, oh, we're gonna localize it so it's like America, so it gels with American audiences. So typically if you hear them talk about Japanese, they're actually talking about like America or something. So you kind of just swap it. So she was like, I want to study English, Mr. Nick, in Japanese. Yeah, anyway. Well, the phone is the most common place for a listening device, I'd say. Well, let's take the receiver apart first before we get ahead of ourselves here.
Wow, you know a lot about electronics, don't you, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, I know tons, especially when it comes to taking them apart. It's my specialty. I'll leave the fixing up part to Gumshoe.
So, is there a listening device in there?
No, and I really thought it had to be in the phone, too. Okay, I kind of remember this. And it's like, you slide, right? That one? It's like one that it shouldn't be in, I think. Freaking one is it? That one's a clock too. Captain Chunkmaster? There we go.
This is a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I have ever seen.
Hey, so did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean.
No, not yet, but this bear's eye is...
Let's see. A perfectly normal stuffed bear with some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you found the device to me, pal. Let's dig this big fella's eye out and see what we've got.
No, you can't. Such a violent act.
Oof.
No.
It's a miniature camera, and it looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer. Oh, what a emitter? A transmitter, pal.
Oh, is this more of that high-tech stuff?
So this tiny thing is a camera? Yep, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small, high-grade video camera, mostly used in security systems. So it's a video camera. The one's on battery, which comes with it in a set. But there's no videotape in this camera. This is only the camera part here, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside it somewhere else.
Somewhere else?
The footage is changed into radio waves and then is sent to that recorder.
So, it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it?
Hey, you know, you're right.
Set to record the victim's room from 8 p.m. for 1 hour was running at the time of the murder. So, what is a transmitter?
It's a device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal. It looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing. Oh, that's a timer, pal. You can set it to turn the camera on and record a certain time with it.
You can set it for a certain time?
Yep. Let's see. This looks like it's set to start at 8 p.m. and go for 1 hour. 8 p.m.? That's the time the award ceremony ended. There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I guess.
Mr. Detective, how long has this bear been here?
I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder.
Then maybe...
Maybe this camera caught the murder on tape. What? If you think about the angle the bear was at, it's bound to have a clear shot of the whole crime, pal.
So there was a camera in the bear's eye.
And it was disguised as a present. I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. Pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind. But who gave Mr. Kurita this present?
I don't know, pal.
But this means that someone out there has got a video of what happened that night.
Isn't there any way we can find out who that person is?
It's impossible, pal.
Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere, so there's no real way to find out. Oh.
Is there really no way to find out?
I got it.
What?
Hey, pal, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go around the electronics shops and see if I can find out who bought this.
But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 p.m.
Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal.
Oh, Gummy. Oh, it's so good. Gumshoe's such a good dude. Spy camera and transmitter given to Detective Gumshoe.
Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's pushing himself so hard, all for Mystic Maya's sake.
It's a mystery how you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right?
Ah!
You'll have to excuse me. I heard your conversation just now.
I like how I could tell it was Edgeworth from the dialogue. That's always the best, because that means you know the dialogue's written well. Edgeworth, what are you doing here?
The rescue team has been created and deployed. I can't say I'm optimistic, but we have to move forward one step at a time.
I see, thanks.
Don't thank me yet, we still have to find her. So there was a spy camera hidden inside the stuffed animal, huh? You're one lucky man, right? Do you know the stuffed bear, little girl?
I have no idea.
Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. It's completely handmade and only a small number of these are exported here. I know this for personal reasons, but don't ask.
What?
The camera and transmitter that Scatterbrain Detective took with him are dead ends. Things like those can be bought anywhere, however, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is.
Can you really do that? Mr. Nick, can he really do that?
Well, I guess so.
It's 9 p.m. Think I can still make it in time. I'll be taking this for now. This won't be the first time someone caught me walking around with a bear like this.
What? What was that?
Nothing, right? I'm sure you have other things you have to do. I'll get out of your hair. See you soon, right?
Wait!
What?
Why are you doing this?
I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. But besides that, right? Until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Who was the person that murdered Juan Corrida?
The real killer.
Do you really still think it was Adrian Andrews?
To be honest, I don't know anymore.
You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth.
But he's a bit like, did you make up the part about Edgeworth and the bear? I sure did. I know this for personal reasons, and this won't be the first time that I was seen with the giant bear like this, or whatever. That was all me. Okay, Juan Corrida's real killer, Miss Andrews' past. The kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal for Mr. On Guard. And this card, Shelley the Killer. Neek! Maya, the only way I can save you now is to find all the answers to this case tonight. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. But as you said, all I can do for now is find the truth. To be continued. I actually am not sure why the game gives you a break right here, because you are still investigating, I believe? You're not going to court, right? 9:14. That giant bear's still there, because they didn't want to redraw this without the bear there.
It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya.
These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay.
You're right.
So the real person who killed Mr. Kurita was
That assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right?
and the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who was his client?
You mean, who asked for the murder?
That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever his client is, they're still a killer.
Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews?
I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself?
But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be.
Matt on guard himself? Was it Matt?
If Mr. On Guard really did hire the assassin,
Then he's not innocent at all. Far from it. He would be guilty of the crime.
but it can't be Mr. On Guard, right? I mean, when we first talked to him,
Mr. On Guard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Kurita? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Kurita, okay? I didn't see any Cyclops at the time. Actually, that reminds me.
did you remember something, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting.
So what is this interesting thing?
That's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls?
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt is going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. Looked like somehow Juan had his hands of secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. I just want to sing Rainbow Connection with this voice.
Matt on Guard's secret? What is this secret?
I don't know yet, but for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Kurita was going to reveal a secret. This secret. That means Mr. On Guard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Kurita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. On Guard. There's no way around it now. No. I don't like this hotel. There's bad people in it, Katie. There's bad people in this hotel.
Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? I've never been up past 8 before. This is so exciting. What happens at this hour?
Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have to get things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of the secret Mr. Kurita held about Mr. On Guard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight.
But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center?
I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. Okay, Pearls. Gently, quietly, we're just gonna sneak on out. This means someone can talk to me. Hey, wait! No, don't wait.
What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Just like now, I was handed a strange device for who knows what reason, and I was told to use it to search the whole hotel.
That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made.
I don't know, and frankly, I don't care, but the request came from Edgy Poo, so...
Edgeworth?
And he said, "If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer." So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you.
Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are.
This is absolutely top secret, so you better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the prisons.
Very interesting.
I'm sure it was, it was that catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meetings thing.
Scandalous? What is that?
It means, well, that gossip's been going around about my dear Juan.
Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews. But I'm sure she must have had a reason for getting so close to Mr. Kurita.
I'll let you in on another secret, young'un. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious puffy-haired photographer girl, the nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too.
Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change.
I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I bet it's nothing good.
But I didn't say anything.
So you want to know about Juan and Adrian? Oh, that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two.
Oh?
I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard.
That manager? Who are you talking about?
You don't know. That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though.
Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impacts. Miss Andrews' mentor, right?
Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married,
Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita?
Really, young kids today don't know anything, do ya? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement.
3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the...
Why would Miss Impacts want to kill herself? She was going to get married.
Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan.
What?
But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right?
They held a ground announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage.
Is that true? There's something about saying Juan in Old Beg's voice that's very satisfying.
Juan!
It's like you're honking a horn or something. I don't know. Anyway.
It was in the weekly magazines.
But why? Why did he do that?
That's not in the magazines, unfortunately.
I see.
That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager Celeste killed herself.
How terrible.
I wonder what happened between those two.
Juan!
Okay. One more screen. Please don't show up, anybody. Please don't be Lotta. Please don't be Lotta. Please don't be Lotta. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. It looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Whew, that could have so easily been the Lotta. Or Gumshoe, but he's running around or whatever. Whew, boy. That's a close one. Ooh, boy. Alright, March 22nd Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department.
It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened.
You're Mr. Ongar's lawyer, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we finally just found a person we've been looking for. A real, decisive witness. You know, you're standing kind of far away, so I have to yell at you. You can come over here.
A decisive witness? You mean for the on guard case?
We're taking the witness's statement now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth.
What's Edgeworth up to now?
Who is this witness?
I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer.
Mr. Nick.
Between the kidnapper's demands and now this, I can't see any way to win here.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something.
He did?
Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go.
What?
I've already called them so they know. Seriously, why do I have to yell? Go on, talk to your heart's content.
Thank you very much.
This is such good news, Mr. Nick.
Go talk to your heart's content? Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Also, why'd he make that guy yell the whole time? I could've just walked over to his desk.
This mascot here is the Blue Badger. I made him, me. I'm finally gonna show him off to the chief of police tomorrow.
Wow, that's really something.
You have no idea how much time and effort I invested into him to get this far. My hopes for this little guy are far beyond just this precinct, yes sirree. I'll get him deployed to every precinct in the nation, just you wait.
I wish you luck, sir.
And the story of the Blue Badger continues. Next time on Phoenix Wright. No, okay. That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. It seems as though my true face has been revealed. I was an elite businessman who made deals with the entire world. I was the young successor and CEO of a colossal corporate conglomeration. But my real self is that of a regular everyday policeman. Stop doing image training and get out there and... Stop doing image training and get yourself out there in the field. That guy's always writing a novel. That's why I looked over there. Okay. Juan! Huh. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. On Guard and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Wow. So many people I've got locked up recently. I've been doing a good job. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Talk to Adrian Andrews?
Oh, it's you.
I'm sorry to be visiting at this late hour, but there's a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight.
Me? I thought your client was Matt.
I'm sure Mr. Andrews knows something. Miss Andrews. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Kurita had on Mr. On Guard. I'd like to ask you about Matt On Guard, if you don't mind.
Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean...
You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival?
That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing.
Alright, let's talk about it more. About Miss Celeste Impacts.
I had finally put her death behind me, and now thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I was shocked by her suicide, and it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and burn it.
You wanted to burn it? But why?
I didn't want it to spread just like another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid.
The suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard?
That's simple, because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't the duty of every good citizen to inform the police?
But there had to be another way, not randomly tampering with evidence.
The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right?
Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death.
Miss Andrews.
Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason, so please tell me why you did what you did.
Revenge.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Huh? Did you just say something just now?
Cyclock, huh?
Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy.
But...
I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. Wait, how do you, Oh, wait, what? Criminal affair? Oh, I have to go to the, March 22nd police station.
Oh, Mr. White.
Wait, no.
Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me.
Uh-oh. There we go. Mr. Powers!
What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What?
And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with the detective a little while ago, and I was on my way home, and well, all of a sudden, you there! You're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh, they said my face and my whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? Why are you still wearing that weird suit? So about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, especially not that spiky-headed lawyer, he said.
Who do you think that lawyer the detective was talking about is?
I added spiky-headed, by the way. I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me.
Yeah, you got it.
Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's all right.
Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? What about Gumshoe?
This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know, because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going.
But what was he really like?
Well, let's see, Matt's always been kind of a player with women. You never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. You always say it's just a game to justify himself.
What? Oh, sorry.
What? How horrible. That's unforgivable.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to offend you.
She, like, hit him or something.
But you know, he said once that there's only one person in this world who won't swoon over me. Oh, wait, hold on, let me try that again. There's only one person in this world who won't swoon over me. Dude. Oh, man, that did not sound right. That sounded like an old man.
One person who wouldn't swoon over him?
His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews.
Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic?
Hi, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right?
A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers?
No, I'm more of like a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around here. Around me as things happen, sorry.
Well, that's true.
Oh, hey, did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide?
You mean Miss Impax?
We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead.
Mr. Powers is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity!
Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. And they say Juan hit it.
We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note.
This is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is.
Something bad for Mr. Corrida.
Why do you figure so?
Oh, well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said it looks like you got caught up with a truly insidious man.
Truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Corrida by that?
Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be the reason enough for him to hide the suicide note.
I see. Well, that's some good info, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mr. On Guard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Go back to the detention center. Let's talk to Mr. Matt On Guard.
Dude, it's Mr. Right. Hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. Counting on you.
I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Carita was killed by an assassin and that the assassin's client is this man, Matt On Guard.
What's wrong?
Mr. On Guard, there's something I must know with 100% certainty.
You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self.
About the press conference.
You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai?
Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had his hands on a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what the secret is, please? I knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Cyclox.
You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude?
5 freaking locks. Did you know about Mr. Carita and Miss Andrews' relationship?
It's all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look how many times do I have to tell you I don't care what Juan did with his life.
Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Carita. Her mentor was Mr. Carita's manager, and Miss Andrews is going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him.
Celeste.
Does that jog any memories?
Dude, I suddenly just got hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat.
Mr. Nick, what's a pea-za? Is it a kind of pea, like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay?
I got cut up for the pizza dude at the shop.
That's too bad.
Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay?
Mr. On Guard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? And then I have to go to Wright & Co. offices. March 22nd, Wright & Co. offices. Mr. Nick, your phone. I love how that's his jingle on his phone. It's like the best thing ever. I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. It's probably just your imagination. You should really pick it up, Mr. Nick. It could be important. Hello?
We got a big problem, pal. What's wrong? I'm on my way to your office right now.
Okay. Hey, wait a sec. Why is he coming here?
It's terrible. I don't know what to say, pal. It's the end. I'm telling you. I'm going. I got here faster than I thought.
Hey. Do you think Terry's actually going to do Zoom? I don't know. Oh, sorry. Well, my lab partner lady texted me. Hey.
No time to wax now, pal. I'm confused as anything here.
Well, what happened?
We got him. We know who bought that spy camera.
This quickly?
And this bear's what gave him away, pal.
The bear?
I figured it out, pal. I figured out that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera.
But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured pearls? And go on.
There's only one person who bought one of these bears that's related to this crime.
Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matt On Guard. Mad on guard. You're quiet, that too, pal.
And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was...
I heard it from the department store clerk, pal.
This is a credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's the exact match on the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold that bear to Mr. On Guard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. On Guard's autograph out of it, pal, so I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. On Guard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. Credit card receipt added to the court record. So what about the spy camera we found? That was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess we can give these back to you and file away into evidence. Spy camera, transmitter, and stuffed bear refiled into court record. I know you don't want to give up, pal. Just imagine Phoenix walking around with all that crap. It's a giant bear and like spy camera. What else do I have that I'm carrying with me? I have the transceiver, I have Lotto's camera, I have a guitar case, I have the full wine glass. Bloody button, bloody knife, transmitter. Anyway, you know I don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Carita's room was Matt On Guard.
Why? Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this?
I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Carita in one of their rendezvous. I bet is not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera.
Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean.
Yes.
I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next.
I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for Pearls. Matt On Guard, what in the world have you done? You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 p.m., dude. How you doing, Katie? You still watching? You still good? You here? Like, you am. Cool. I'm pretty sure some crazy crap's gonna happen pretty soon. I'd keep your eyes peeled on this one. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Here we go. Like I said, crazy crap's gonna go down for this. Matt's secret. Now let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Carita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude. I don't know, and I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. The best alibi, dude. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Carita, especially on that night. Present... Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Carita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images that the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. I guess Juan had a few of these kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Carita was... Mr. On Guard. Don't you know this bear from somewhere?
I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, did?
But he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend?
What else did the bear tell you?
He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard.
If I didn't know how you work in court, I think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg.
Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet.
Well, do you have any proof that you want to show me first?
Here's the proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. It's a receipt. Receipt, right? Yep, should be the receipt. I have here 1 credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear.
Dude, all you can tell from this is I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This is $3,800. This could be the toothbrush I bought that one time.
A $3,800 toothbrush?
It's ivory, and it's got an elephant hair for bristles.
Ew! Elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave an autograph, did you not?
Dude, should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing?
Yeah?
You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that?
Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you.
Sounds more like a stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, Kay?
No, not yet. I haven't asked you why you set the camera up yet. And what's your secret, and what your secret is. Of course, it would be strictly confidential.
So, what are you gonna do now?
I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is...
What is this card?
Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. That man's name is Shelly the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you?
Shelly the Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shitty scumbag like him?
If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Man on guard. Look, it takes out half your health if you screw up here. Holy cow. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Kurita. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt on Guard.
Here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. Thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. That's what I thought anyway.
Mr. On Guard, you really did hire?
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay?
Consult myself?
Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway.
About time for what?
I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Did. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on Guard. Well done, Mr. Wright. But it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have.
So you are Shirley the Killer's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you?
Oh, what do you mean?
And that woman, Adrian was quite brave herself. Tried to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer?
You're lying. What a terrible...
It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things.
But why? Why did you hide the video camera and...
A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess?
And that's why...
Yes, that's where the video cam comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay, even blackmail him if I want. That's right, this video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright?
Why would you do something so wrong?
Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Get enough of an answer for you, little girl?
I always liked his reveal a lot, where he's like, and then he gets a little wine glass, and he's like, like a villain. I don't know. I always thought that was great. Like, you know it's him, where you're like pretty darn sure.
Why? Why would you kill Mr. Carida?
Because he was about to sling so much dung into my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it?
If Mr. Carida had been able to give it, then Mr. Engarde's secret would have.
Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know. I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought.
And that's how Mr. Carida ended up dead.
Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me. Mad on guard. Ah, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? Grown awfully quiet. How could I have been deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Carida. You answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that the killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Carida. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Ah, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You can always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? But you can't, can you? That would be one thing you absolutely can't do.
Mystic Maya.
You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, so I hear. You end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I'd think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliche phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya, what am I supposed to do?
And now you finally found it. What? Who's saying that?
And now you finally found it. The starting line of this case, Edgeworth. I don't really care for the horde atmosphere in here. Let's return to the precinct.
March 22nd, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department.
Well, Mr. Wright, what are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy? Do you plan on changing your strategy?
No, we can't do that.
That's right, he's holding my hostage.
What should I do?
That's not something I can answer for you.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time I truly didn't understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. And I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, Mr. Wright, it's your turn.
My turn.
What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own.
Okay, so my voice is starting to want to break. So we let's see if there's a good. I think there is I think there's a good stop point coming up. Probably. Yeah, there's a good stop point coming up pretty soon. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Mad on guard, that man is really.
It doesn't matter who, and every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system?
Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery?
It's ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now?
Well, that may be true, but that's because I believed in my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard and acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who are suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win this case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do.
Right. Would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong.
Huh?
We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say?
That's...
You're a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do.
People like you and Francisca von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end. And even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict for a man I clearly know to be guilty.
Francisca, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all.
I beat her. Twice. She didn't have a perfect win record. Anyway. And? Isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You were so petty!
I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken.
What do you...
Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record.
I know, right? This is like such a curveball for Ace Attorney. The person you're defending is actually the... Basically, they're not the murderer, but they basically are.
I began to realize the error of my ways. And I realized that things such as a perfect win record were meaningless.
This must have been what you meant when you said we'd eventually defend a murderer. Yep, you asked me about that, and here we are.
What?
And I don't believe you. Are you saying that's why you left the prosecutor's office? But then why? Why are you here now?
The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you'll see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story.
Edgeworth is just talking about, he basically found out that the truth is more important than his win record. And Wright made him realize that, and Wright should now realize that that happened. Mr. Nick, the transceiver.
I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal by tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time.
Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. On Guard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer?
Right.
Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client.
Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much a killer himself.
I believe you are asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am.
Yeah.
This is what I like to call my aftercare.
What the heck is aftercare?
My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations. And it is part of an assassin's duty.
An assassin's duty?
We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end.
What is your name?
I believe I told you once before, however.
You did, but...
My name is the Killer. Shelley the Killer.
You're Shelley the Killer?
Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain,
Maya!
it would be my duty as an assassin to see it. To see to it she receives a nice long nap.
No.
Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome.
Shoo! She was like, Maya! Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya.
I don't know what to say.
Edgeworth! Did you hear that? At the end of the transmission.
No, that. It sounded like a cat.
A cat? It can't be. That cat! Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelley the Killer is holding Maya hostage. The cat. It was the cat all along. The Justice Cat. This is why you get cats, people. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for On Guard Mansion immediately.
Alright, you hurry over as well then.
Don't lose help yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Bump bump dump dump bump 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 dump 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 bump bump. What? Oh right, I have to head over to the mansion. Derp. Hey look, there's a bear over there. Maya! Please answer us, Mystic Maya.
We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area.
I can't believe it. That butler, all this time he was to kill her.
He and Engard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time.
Look at that sweet bike!
And it seems Engard was quite famous even as a motorcycle racer.
Generally, when a star like him tries to do something like that, they fail, but...
And it seems Engard is no ordinary man.
There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick.
I bet it's for the cat to use.
Oh, you mean shoe. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear, but there are lots of cuts in it for some reason.
Figurine of bear, added to the court record.
A bear?
Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here?
Alright, look down. There's a little pet door installed here.
I'm sure that's for shoe.
Do you think that this came through that little door?
This door, it's locked.
Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth! That's what I was gonna say. Break the door down, Nick. You're good at that. You did it one time at the Fey Manor. Thank goodness they drew me with broad shoulders in the anime. There's no one here.
From the looks of this room, I would say that this is on God's private lounge. Look at this, right?
An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals at VCR. Check inside the desk. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we are lucky, we'll have a moment where the crime was committed recorded on it.
I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found.
No.
But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it.
We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away.
I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time.
And now we've lost our only lead.
Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar.
Mystic Maya.
Yeah, you're right.
We're close.
Oh, sorry. Wow.
We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route. Or route, depending on how you pronounce it, leading out of the district. Leave the rest to us.
Maya. And Miguel. What they will do next, you never can tell. This looks like a picture of Miss Impacts. With love, Celeste.
Miss Impacts? You mean?
Yes, Mr. Kurita's former manager.
Why would a picture of Miss Impacts be here in Mr. Onguard's mansion?
And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Did he get Did he get her to cheat on Juan, and then Juan called off the wedding, and then she killed herself? And then maybe Matt took the note? Anyway. Celeste photo. Add to the court record. What's wrong, Pearls?
Please let me see that picture frame.
What's so special about the frame?
On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame, Mr. Nick. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us the message.
What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get the creepy slime bag of guilty, I'll never forgive you ever.
Not guilty. Sorry, not guilty. The opposite of what I said.
I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right?
I can do her voice again.
Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for that helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
No. Mystic Maya.
Right? What's wrong? Why the blank stare?
Oh, nothing.
Lee searched the house, and this is the last room. Looks like he eluded us.
Edgeworth.
Yes?
As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing.
What's that?
Miss Andrews' Cyclock. I could just find out what secret she's holding. Then I could stand a chance in court tomorrow to blow this case wide open and expose the truth.
I think I know what you're thinking, and I'll contact the detention center.
Thanks, Edgeworth.
Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock.
Maya, etc., Maya, etc. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill.
Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psyche lock.
Psyche lock?
I want to know, and you will tell me your secret.
Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Bring it on, Mr. Wright. It's not like you have magic powers or anything.
Okay. Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. On Guard for the murder?
I've already told you countless times. It's because I thought Matt was the killer.
No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. On Guard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge.
You're saying that I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for.
Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Miss Celeste Impact. Hey look, there he is, John Doe. Butler from On Guard Mansion. For some reason I get the feeling we've met before. Miss Impact.
Celeste.
There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings, and even revenge. And that was Miss Impact's suicide.
What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt?
You're right. You haven't mentioned him yet, but for you to hate Mr. On Guard, it would mean that he must have some relation to Miss Impact and her suicide.
Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt?
They were lovers. Look at this photograph of Miss Impact's. This is a photograph of Miss Impact's, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impact's handwriting, isn't it?
Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It is a rhetorical question.
Yeah, it is. I found this at Matt On Guard's mansion.
And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed.
And it's a good thing I have magic.
Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan.
Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out.
Because of Mr. Karita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt.
I called it.
But because of Mr. On Guard, what do you mean?
I think I can see where this is going.
Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together.
Aw, they make a cute couple. Murderer, suicide-y. Yeah. So that's why. Wow, we literally just took this picture, slightly tilted it and put it on this frame so we didn't have to redraw her. Anyway, so that's why. With love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't...
Oh, they were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible.
Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful a man he is and how refreshing he is as a spring breeze. But spring breezes, man, those can be real rough. Oh, sorry, anyway, a scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that's where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. Ripperino. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. Well, you did a good job framing him because he did it anyway. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Kurita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement, and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Inpax. He was probably like, "Ha, you have my sloppy seconds." And Juan was like, "No, I'm calling this wedding off."
Anyway.
That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. And it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image.
Oh, so Juan was holding the suicide note to then destroy Matt's image at that press conference. And he's like, I can't let that happen. So he hired an assassin. Dag, yo.
In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge.
Revenge. There's that word again.
Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At the time, that would cause Matt the most damage, of course, at a time.
And that was at the press conference after the stage show.
Was Matt a jerk to her, though?
That's a really good question. Because what if Matt wasn't a jerk to her and they just kind of didn't gel quite right? And so she was like, I don't want to be in this relationship. So she went to a different studio to kind of like break it off. And then and then he like rubbed it in Juan's face because he was like mad or something. You know what I mean? I kind of don't believe that because Matt on Guard's like total scumbag, like 100% scumbag, and Juan is actually kind of scumbaggy too, but he wasn't going to kill anybody. Why would she kill herself if she was happy? Because her relationship got ruined by Matt coming back and ruining it. It's dumb. Could try talking it out, you know? I don't know.
I know all about it because I heard about it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all, sending each other giant $3,800 bears and such. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. Guess I'm a bit confused about it. I'm also groggy from meds too. Well, she said it. She was like, oh, it was his worthless male pride. Basically, he called the wedding off because Matt was like, you know, I dated that girl too, right? She's like my reject girl. And now you have her. And he was like, what the crap, or whatever, and then called the wedding off. And that kind of like ruined her happiness. Because of his like rash decision. That's why she's saying they're both monsters, because they were using her as like a pawn, basically. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I even had brought a lighter. But they couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when revenge crossed my mind. I thought it was Matt marrying her, not Juan. No. Matt was dating her originally, and then she went over to Juan. And then Juan was going to marry her. And then Juan called off the wedding being petty because she was kind of the set, you know. She was like Matt's reject, I guess. Yep, exactly. They're both jerks. And so she was like, F this nonsense, and she yeeted herself out of existence, to use your terminology. And so Miss Andrews has been looking for a note the whole time, because she knows that she's like, I know there was a note. And then she was like, Juan has it, but Juan's like a monster, so she doesn't actually like Juan. She just wants the note. And he was going to use the note to destroy it, to hit Matt back, basically. They're just in a stupid, ridiculous feud. Anyway, alright, cool. So I'll move forward. We're like at the very end here. Not the end of the case. We still have like the trials and stuff to do. We'll do that next time after we're done with this section. Yes, I was going to bring to them my own kind of cruel revenge. Getting caught up in their game, lady. And now you're in the detention center. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. When I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. Like I said, I was testing to see if he was dead, and yeah, he was, unfortunately. Sigh, it wasn't me that killed him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, enough ad-libbing. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? Pretty sure stabbing him would kill him. Yeah, he was already dead, so she was just like, let's see if he's really dead. Pfft, yep, he's really dead. I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. Couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation. What I know now. A good place to end it. Almost 4 hours. Let's go to the courtroom and then I'll save it at the little courtroom scroll thing, which is just... Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding. How did I get into this mess? This is the intro from the second game, if I remember.
That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
He's like having his nightmare or whatever. What have I done wrong?
I cannot allow you to go on like this.
But I'm just a simple defense attorney.
Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title.
Remember he wakes up from Rich Wellington hitting him with that fire hydrant thing, and he has a... I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Okay. That's where we'll save it. All right, so, there is definitely enough for another stream on this trial section alone. It's actually not. It's not. I don't even think it's as long as the Adrian Andrews thing, or at least it's in 2 sections, and I think one of the sections isn't as long as the Adrian Andrews thing. It's split into 2. So, if I remember, there's actually some really cool stuff at the very end of this trial. Of course, it's the end of the game, right? So they're gonna like show you some character development-y stuff, and the end of this trial is gonna be super cool. And then we're gonna move on to the 3rd game, which is my favorite in the entire series, and I'm so looking forward to it. Okay. And I'm looking forward to watching this in the anime too once we're done with this. So let me think here, because I could probably do this. I don't know. Maybe I'll see how my voice is doing tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. I should. I don't know. If I have time later this week, I'll make sure to finish this off. So, anyways, I'll end the stream now. Almost 4 hours. Crazy. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a fun time. Time flies, you know. But I hope you had fun while the time flew. So. I will catch you later, but not much later. So I'm glad you had fun. I might go run and get some food first, eat some dinner before we watch stuff, but I am down to watch stuff. So I'll text you, you text me. All right. See ya.